Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Blitz Growth. Today, really excited to have Raj here. He is a 3-time book author, course creator, has a PhD in philosophy and marketing, and all round has a ton of value to share with us today. We're going to go through data, marketing automation, analytics, and how to grow your business, social profile, channel, or store. We're really going to leave, just 1 or 2 big tips that's going to help you improve your marketing strategies or help you grow your business in some way or how. So Raj, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me, Jack. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I really appreciate it. And what we do when everybody starts on this podcast, we always ask them for that kind of one line or sentence elevator pitch to explain what value they can bring to someone who they're talking to or they're lecturing or something like that. So what's your kind of like elevator pitch in how you're going to help everybody today?
Sure, that's a good way to begin. So let me give it a shot. So I help firms achieve growth and meet strategic objectives by effectively using data about their customers and marketing.
Nice.
How's that?
Yeah, well, it's
one sentence.
No, it did very well. And, data is all the talk these days. So very excited about this episode to kind of learn a little bit more about how data works, how to better use it. And I think there's a lot of stuff that people aren't using in terms of data. So let's start in where you got started. How come you got into data and marketing automation, analytics, all these sorts of things? Like, it's not necessarily like, a kid's dream to grow up into this occupation, but it's one of the most important positions in a lot of these big companies today. So how did you sort of get into, the marketing automation and marketing data and analytics?
Sure. So I started as a computer engineer. So that's my undergrad, and when I pursued graduate degrees, I ended up in marketing, pursuing a PhD. But I was at that time trying to apply what I had done in computer engineering in marketing. That's how I started. And this was about a long time ago, like more than 20 years back, where this whole field was just turning to be more quantitative. And I think I just landed to be at the right place at the right time, I think, with this. And when I started, it was not something that was so popular and mainstream. But I can certainly see around the time digital technology and internet started picking up, it became more and more mainstream. And that's kind of how I started. And now the two worlds have pretty much collided. And so I find myself fortunate to be in this place now.
Okay. And so say you're getting started, what's the best way to look at all of this data? Is it in a spreadsheet? Is it a tool? What's the best way to kind of try and match back like what you're doing on social media to what's happening in terms of sales, whether it's selling a service, content, or e-commerce, or whatever you're selling? What's the best way to kind of visualize this or track this if someone's kind of just getting started?
Yes. I think depending on how much data you're talking about, it's either Excel or Tableau. Those would be good tools for visualizing. Tableau, once you have a little more data, like, you have like, thousands of customers in there or followers, tens of thousands, and Tableau can give you some slicing and dicing that is better. When you have less than 10,000, you're looking at the whole group, not, looking at subgroups. When you have subgroups, then you go into more complicated visualizing tools like Tableau.
In terms of kind of those are the things people should do, is there anything people shouldn't be doing? Are there any mistakes that you constantly see when brands or people try and use data? Like, there's so much of it. It's really hard to kind of like know what to do. But are there any big mistakes or things that people should avoid when they're trying to start using data to better improve their social content or following or revenue or whatever it may be?
Yeah. So 2 things I would say. One is, and the 2 related things. One is jumping into the data without knowing what they're looking for. Because I have data, I'm going to do a lot of cross tabulations. That really leads to getting into rabbit holes and not like just swimming in data, but not understanding what to do. I think spending time thinking about the analysis and the objectives of the analysis is more important than really delving into the data. So that is the first one I would say is to definitely look out for. The second I would say is I've seen people do a lot of A/B tests, but not really think about like the design of the tests. So again, goes back to what I was saying about think through the uh, before looking in the data. In terms of analysis, I said before looking into the data, look at like why you're looking at it. The same way, before running these different tests and posting the different contents, spend some time thinking about why you're doing it and why you're testing it and what metrics you're going to track and for how long. Because if you don't have a track of that, some kind of spreadsheet or project management that allows you to track this content, then you're just posting content and then back end you're trying to understand what happened. And with experiments, you need to be like, only one aspect of your content should be manipulated, or if you're manipulating two or three, you need to know which uh, subgroup was exposed to one kind of treatment versus the other. So to know that, you need to, as you get more and more you're driving content on multiple dimensions, you need the discipline up front to design that experiment well, so that when the back end, when you collect the data, you know how to analyze it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think kind of what we suggest with some of the brands that we work with is just planning out in a Google Sheet, just each test that you're going to do one test a month, have what you're testing, the goal, the metrics are going to go into that goal, and then what the outcome should be. And then, just start out super simple. And then we're always suggesting to start with just like one a month. So you look at, okay, we're going to do this all of January. Let's see if it helps improve the goal that we're trying to get.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think starting simple is a lot easier. And, as you get more advanced, you start doing more advanced tests. You start using things like Tableau and those, pretty robust analytical tools, that sort of thing. But yeah, starting simple is always the best way. I would say, the best metrics that we've seen social media's track, I think, is, it's obviously click-through rates, share rates, and comments. I think those three metrics are important for the social media influencers, what we've seen. And then on site, as you were mentioning, I think it's, the click-through rate, the bounce rate, the click-through rate to the website, the bounce rate, time on site, and then revenue and conversion rate, pretty much. Anybody out there who's just getting started, use the analytics from the social platforms, use Google Analytics. If you're using a Shopify or WordPress, there'll also be analytics in there, but don't overcomplicate it. And then Google Sheets is your best friend.
Yes, absolutely. Because I think you're totally right in it. Don't make the analysis, don't spend too much time trying to learn the tool, right? Focus on the business, focus on the content. That is the important thing, I would say. And the more you can look at analyzing at the content level, the better off you're going to be, so that you understand exactly the content that can work.
Okay, and so diving into a little bit more about, your books and your course and that sort of stuff, what sort of content have you included in there? What do you think was the most important stuff that you put into those books? And what do you think readers get out of it?
So my focus has always been on the bridge between analytics and marketing strategy. So my books are not really, I wouldn't say they are books that are, they're technique heavy. There are techniques in there, they're sophisticated, but the key insights are always around how do you connect the analytics to your business objectives and strategy. And so my focus has always been on that bridge between strategy and analytics.
Hey guys, we put a bunch of effort into making great content for this YouTube channel. So please hit subscribe, leave us a comment, hit like, and tell a few friends about it.